this is how to get lean and stay lean, well, forever. Now, I want to be clear, at no point in time should you think that this was due to my genetics. A matter of fact, most of my life, I've been overweight. For all of my life, I wanted to have a good physique. Something like you see in the movies, like Brad Pitt in Fight Club, or Chris Hemsworth as Thor. But the truth is, I was just never able to achieve that. A matter of fact, this is what I used to look like. And the reason I show you this is to tell you that if I can do it, you can do it too. Naturally, I have a huge appetite, and this leads me to overeat. And it's the reason why I have been overweight all of my life. Now, I store a ton of fat on my face and on my lower back, which leads me to have moon face and love handles. But this is what I look like now. Yeah, big difference. Now, this wasn't exactly an overnight transformation. A matter of fact, this took me a really long time. I tried about every single diet under the sun. And maybe you're in that same position too, where you've tried a bunch of different diets and nothing just ever seems to stick. But here's the truth. What I do now is so simple compared to all those diets that I used to try in the past. And a matter of fact, I've never looked better, been stronger, or felt healthier in my whole life. And ultimately, I think it was that simplification that really was the game changer. It meant that I only needed to follow a few principles to actually get lean and look good. And that's really what's going to be the game changer for you, is the diet that allows you to actually be consistent and stick to it over a longer period of time. So that leads me into step 1. Avoid the yo-yo. I can't tell you how many times I would go on a diet and go to the extreme of one end, cutting my calories down to 1,500 calories a day, basically starving myself. And then by the time I'd hit the weekend, I would rebound and eat all of those calories back and completely be back at square one. That's what we call a yo-yo, because if you think about it like a yo-yo, you're going to the extreme of one end and then the extreme of the other end. This is absolutely exhausting. Basically, yo-yo dieting is an issue of discipline and commitment. Because basically when you yo-yo, it means that you're only dieting when you feel motivated to diet. But as soon as you give in to your impulses, you end up eating a bunch of food that you shouldn't eat, and you're just right back at square one. Basically, bro, we need to commit to the diet. The issue with the yo-yo is it's an issue of non-commitment. It means that you only are committed when you feel like being committed. And this was the case for me for so many years. So what helped me with this was something called periodization. And what that means is essentially assigning a block of time, whether it be 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, to just say, this is the time period where I am fully committing to this. The reason why that helped me so much is because it helped me see the light at the end of the tunnel. Losing weight wasn't just this infinite thing that would have to go on forever. It had an end date. And so periodizing how long I would need to lose weight really gave me the mindset to know that this was just a temporary period of time. And now that we've avoided the yo-yo, that leads us into step 2, calorie deficit. You probably knew that this one was coming, but there's no way around it. The only way to lose weight is to be in a calorie deficit, meaning that you consume less than what your body burns. And the truth is, there is no hidden knowledge about losing weight. There's no secret diet, whether you're doing paleo, keto, or even a vegetarian. The truth is that you just need to be in a calorie deficit long enough for your body to burn enough fat to get lean. And the truth is that your body has very specific mechanisms internally to allow it to know when you're in a calorie deficit. So what I would recommend is just be prepared for hunger. Be prepared to feel hungry. That means that the deficit is working. That means that the diet is working. And that was a mindset shift that I had to make, because for all of my life, I saw hunger as a bad thing that needed to be avoided. When I was hungry, that meant that I had to eat. But once I made the shift of understanding that hunger was actually a signal of progress, I was able to realize that it's not necessarily a bad thing, and I don't need to eat every time I feel hungry, because that means that the diet is working and I'm in a calorie deficit. Now, that doesn't mean that all foods are created equal. While it is true that you can lose weight by being in a calorie deficit no matter what you eat, it's certainly going to make it harder or easier depending on the quality of foods that you're consuming. One interesting study that I saw a while ago was this professor who went on a calorie deficit while only eating Twinkies. And he did it for like a month and a half, and he lost like 25 pounds simply because he was just in a calorie deficit. Now, while this is possible to do, I don't recommend it. What I recommend doing is eating whole animal-based foods, high in protein, that are part of a clean diet. Think about it like a car, right? If you put in low quality grade fuel, yes, the car will run, but it's gonna have a lot of internal operating issues and it's gonna break down quick. But if you put good, high quality food in it, it's gonna run a lot smoother and it's gonna last a lot longer. The same thing is true with your body and the quality of food that you eat. So I'll tell you what's worked for me. It's pretty basic. Things like animal meats, chicken, steak, ground beef, and then lots of fruit like oranges, apples, strawberries, really basic stuff that we all kind of know is good for you. Now that's not to say that I don't enjoy a good cheeseburger every once in a while. I certainly do, but the most important part is just to be moderate with the junk food. Now in terms of commitment, bro, you have to realize that you're all in one way or another. At the end of the day, you're alive and time is gonna pass by and you are going to make actions that are gonna impact you no matter what. So you're either all in committed to slow, painful degradation, or you're all in and committing to building yourself up and being the best version you can be. So don't fall into the trap of passivity, meaning that you think that your actions don't matter. They do compile over time. In the same way that getting fat is just a culmination of decisions made over a period of time, getting lean is also just a culmination of actions over a period of time. All right, and now that we've addressed how to get lean, I have some really good news for you. Staying lean, in my opinion, is actually a lot easier than getting lean in the first place.
And the reason why it's easier to stay lean is because maintaining a homeostasis is a lot easier than changing your body. Your body likes to stay in the position that it's at. So maintaining your leanness makes it a lot easier. So what that means is we no longer need to be in a calorie deficit. We can eat at maintenance calories, which is a lot nicer. It means that you don't have to go to bed feeling as hungry and you just kind of get to look awesome all the time. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about is step 3, diet tricks and tips. Now, the first tip that I use and that a lot of people use is something called carb backloading. Carb backloading basically means that you're saving your carbs to the end of the day and really just focusing on eating a lot of protein throughout the morning and afternoon. The reason why this works so well is because protein is the most fulfilling macronutrient and it's also the most anabolic macronutrient, meaning it helps you gain the most muscle. So it keeps you full throughout the day. And then finally, once you get to the end of the night, if you're craving a little bit of carbs, well, hey, you've got plenty of room in your macros to make that happen. Now, the next diet trick and tip I have is, yes, cheat meals are okay. But notice how I said cheat meal and not cheat day. It's really easy to mess up a lot of your progress by having an entire cheat day. But if you've been craving something throughout the week, having one day of the week where you have a controlled cheat meal is a really great way to reward yourself while also not undoing your progress. So while I don't go absolutely crazy with a cheat day and just eating whatever I want, a cheat meal once a week is really not that big of a deal, and ultimately it's a great mental trick to get yourself back on track and kind of temper down some of those cravings that you might have had throughout the dieting process.
And ultimately, I think another reason why it's easier to maintain your leanness is because as you get lean, you also realize what it feels like to have a truly high-functioning, healthy body. And that's one thing that we don't talk enough about, is that when you eat clean, when you get lean, when you get to a healthy body fat percentage, you understand what your body actually feels like when it's in good shape. And so throughout your cheat meal or when you're having cravings, you might eat something and then you immediately feel how that food makes you feel. For instance, if I just eat a bunch of ice cream, it might taste really good and be rewarding, and afterwards I'm like, oh man, I don't feel so good. That was a lot of sugar. And I feel that in my body because I understand how my body feels when it feels good and healthy. So that's another added benefit of getting lean, is you just feel what it's like to have your body running optimally. And then the last tip that I have for you, this might be controversial for some people, but for me, it's absolutely worked really well. And that is utilizing artificial sweeteners. Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, Diet Dr. Pepper, Splenda in my coffee. Yes, I have a sweet tooth, and for me personally, having a 0-calorie alternative sweetener has been an absolute lifesaver, because yep, I get those cravings too late at night, and then having a Sprite Zero in the fridge has saved me so many times from going and really messing up my calorie deficit. So if you're someone like me who has a sweet tooth, then hey, take advantage of artificial sweeteners. It's helped me quite a bit. But yeah, guys, that's my advice on how to get lean and stay lean. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like. Got lots more videos coming on the way, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.